Mel, firstly, a new signing, Belina Loek. Any more likely in the next few days ahead of the window shutting?
We shall see, won't we?
Is the begging bowl out? You are in conversation. There could be something possibly in the next week, you're saying?
I think we're, in a similar position to a lot of clubs, always looking to grow. The important thing for us in January is to find the right fit and not just adding for adding's sake. We have a really clear vision of the players that we brought in the summer and what we'd like to do in the summer ahead, and it's important to get it right in the January window because there's very little time for a player to really acclimate with the season left at hand. I think it's about getting the right fit and what is needed for the team.
Chelsea, meanwhile, have just announced a British record fee of almost £400,000 for Levante's Colombian striker Mayra Ramirez. A different league, but the same league, really. That's big money, isn't it? And that's what you're up against, Mel.
Yeah, she's a fantastic player. Obviously, we have a Colombian international in our team and a player coming from Levante in Tatiana in past as well. So familiar with the level and evaluations of her. Obviously, I think what Chelsea have in terms of their scouting and recruitment department is a lot that other clubs can learn from and ourselves as we're growing and building out our own departments, because they certainly have a footprint in the youth, in the young English market, but equally continuously looking at succession plans in depth, and that's what they've done. So it's a credit to them. It's a fantastic signing, and we'll be looking to continue about our own business in the same manner.
Well, indeed. And what about your business? I mean, a great week so far. Mel, gutsy win over Bristol City into the quarterfinals of the League Cup, an achievement in itself. And now a chance to take on Chelsea at home. You must feel momentum and ready for this challenge now.
Yeah, I think we've been growing throughout the month of January, and certainly growing from what we've learned about ourselves in the first half of the season. I mentioned we want to evolve the team slightly differently in the second half to make sure that we have a lot of confidence in our performances. I think, the team performed exceptionally well when we had games against the top four in successive matches in the first half of the season, and that's because there's no pressure. There's nothing to lose. You go out there, you put in a top performance, and it's how you can recreate the level and the intensity of those performances consistently over time and throughout other opposition in the league. And when you go and you play toe-to-toe with a team like Chelsea, you're going to stretch yourself and learn a lot about your shortcomings and where you can continue to build on as well.
Do you feel ready to really take them on this Saturday, perhaps the best opportunity you have had for some time?
Look, I think we played them exceptionally well the last time we played them as well. It was a 4-2 game, and they capitalised on actually a couple errors of ours for their third and fourth goals. And we learned a lot about ourselves and what adaptability that we needed in that game to then go put that into place when we faced United and City in the following weekend. So we've got our own objectives and areas that we want to measure ourselves in this game, and we'll be focused on that. But yeah, no time like the present to go take on a title contender.
Let's turn to Vicky, to your left. Vicky, this is the real opportunity, isn't it, to take on Chelsea? And last week it was the side at the bottom. This week you're playing the side at the top. That is the WSL, isn't it?
Yeah, it is both for us. Every game is as important as the one before and the next upcoming. And we're focusing on ourselves. We know to improve. We want to improve our mistakes, and we've been working hard during the whole month of January. And it's a big game, and I think you have to play big teams if you want to improve. So, all the respect to Chelsea, but we're gonna go out there trying to get the 3 points and trying to perform and focus on the performance.
And it looks like the winter break has really done you all good. You've had a lot of players that came in just before the summer. It's a lot of new faces. Do you really feel you are bonding and gelling as a team?
Not yet, but it's completely normal. It's completely normal. The league goes so quick. Sometimes the last 2 weeks now, we haven't had time to train. It's good that we've had a few cup games, so we all can get minutes. We need the whole squad to win. We are a team. We are a team. We're not a group that we have one player that we know is going to win the game. So I think we need more time, and we are working in the right direction, and we just want to make sure that we're taking steps forward.
What about your development? How are you feeling with your game now?
For me, it's been challenging. It's been challenging because my whole life I've been playing in a team where normally has more possession. So I came here. I'm learning a lot from the girls. I'm learning how to affect the game, maybe not having as much as possession, but knowing that you can hurt the opponent. Challenging of the ball for me also. I know this league is very physical, which I like to be out of my comfort zone, trying to improve every day and also care about the girls, have conversations with them about football and learning from each other. So I'm enjoying so much, even if it's challenging.
Finally, for me, your boss said she feels you can relax a bit more in games, perhaps against the top four. Is that how you feel against Chelsea? It's not a free hit, but it's a game where do you feel you go in a little bit more relaxed, a bit more challenged?
I mean, the pressure is on them. It's true that when you play against big teams, it is how it is. Yeah, the pressure is on them, so you kind of relax a little bit. Well, relax is not the word because you have to work hard. But I think Mel said that we are very focused on the games that we play against the top four, and I think the team is ready. I think. We're focusing on tomorrow. I think we know Chelsea very well and we know where we can hurt them.
Good luck to both of you. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Just kind of touching on this theme of playing against a top four side, is a lot of it almost like a mentality shift where you have to be prepared to not have the ball as much. You have to be prepared to be brave and almost soak in a lot more pressure than you would do against maybe teams sort of more in and around you mid-table?
Yeah, I think brave is a great word to describe it. It's certainly a word that we used in playing this run of games in the first half of season because we wanted to be brave enough to get pressure on the ball higher up the field. And like I said, go toe-to-toe with teams, and that looked very different in each of the 4 games, but the group was certainly brave in their performances and brave in their ability to get pressure on the ball and affect the game and be clinical in transition moments. So I think each game will look different, and both teams have grown tremendously from last October when we first met.
Yeah, and I guess just sort of touching on that theme of being brave, but also having your own identity as well. And I know that that's something that you've been progressing, obviously, over the last couple of months. But how much do you almost have to sacrifice that? And I don't know, maybe just be a little bit more clever when you're playing against these teams that have got players who can just produce moments out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think the biggest piece that we've learned through these games is the ability to be adaptable, because these look, there's fantastic coaches throughout the league, but I think the quality and the class of players playing in a team like Chelsea, for example, they have the ability to change the game in really small ways, whether it's individual brilliance, as you say, or Chelsea changed their formation at halftime against us last time, and it opened up different spaces for us and them, and it ultimately changed the game, and that's where I think we found our ability to be more adaptable. So we know we'll have to bring that in tomorrow's game, but equally the preparation has been about ourselves and the areas that we feel we can continue focusing on and be a little bit better on from the last time we faced.
Yeah, and what about for you as a manager as well? Because I imagine it's quite a fun challenge being on the touchline when you've got all these different challenges that not just before the match but during the match, when obviously Emma Hayes makes tactical changes and makes formation changes, you have to react to that. I can imagine that's quite fun actually.
Yeah, of course. I think that's probably why we're in it. We're in it for winning and the challenge of what it takes to win, isn't it? So every game brings that, though, whether you're playing in a more transitional game and you want to settle it down, against some of the ones that we have faced before Christmas or recently. So it's about ultimately providing the players with the utmost belief going into the game, and then managing and responding as quickly as we can as individuals and as a team collectively.
Can I just check team news as usual?
Yeah, I don't think any new news in terms of injuries. Everyone has come out healthy from Wednesday evening's match with a good run in.
Great stuff. Just one for Vicky quickly. Obviously we just spoke before about sort of maybe in certain games learning to be a bit more direct, and I guess a team like Chelsea is a great opportunity to use those skill sets and maybe set pieces become more important as well.
Yeah, well, set pieces is something that we are trying to improve, attacking and defensively. We're conscious of it. And I think we have great big centre-backs that definitely we would like to get more goals from it. And I think, Chelsea is a really attacking team, so they have the ball a lot and they just keep adding players into the box, so we know that, so we want to be focused and make sure we can stop them. But at the same time, we know our strengths. I think in the last game we played them, we were very clinical and we made really good decisions in some phases of the game. So I think it's about focusing, not making mistakes against big teams, and can't switch off, not even one single player. We can't afford that right now. And for me, be focused tomorrow from every single player in the squad.
Best of luck. Thank you.
Vicky, you say it's a different challenge now to teams you played at before without the ball, but presumably were you expecting it to be like that, or has it even surprised you actually being out there and experiencing it?
Sorry if it surprised me.
Has you been surprised how different it's felt, or were you sort of prepared for how different it would be?
No, of course not. I've been in the game for a long time, so believe it or not, Barca never used to play like that. Like, we were in a process of building something, and I got relegated like 15 years ago with Barca, so we used to lose also. And I think it's part of the process, and I see my teammates, this is a personal opinion, I see my teammates every day in training, and I know we can play really good football, we can have more possession, but sometimes the game goes so quick, and as Mel said, I think brave is a good word. Sometimes you concede a goal trying to play out, and then it's about just building the mentality of I want the ball again. And I think we have conversations in the changing room. We want to play football, but it's not as easy. There was 12 additions at the start of the year. We're still finding out a little bit. That is the reality. But I think we're making progress, and it's actually very exciting what is to come.
Because what you say suggests the best is yet to come this season.
Yes, exactly.
What do you see for this sort of second half of the season?
Well, I think we've worked more on trying to have more possession because we are happy with that. Even if we've made mistakes, be more brave, create that mentality, help each other. And these last 3 games, I think winning also has given us some confidence. We needed that. And we just need to read also which team are we playing against. Tomorrow is a completely different game. But that doesn't mean that there'll be some moments on the game that I think we can try what we want to do, but we also want to win. So it's about adapting, as Mel said, and getting points, because we focus on the performance, but we also know we have to get points.
Just finally, can I ask you about the WSL standard, the competitive nature? Because last week you played at home to the bottom team, and it went to the 95th minute. So is it getting more and more competitive?
It is. It's super competitive. A lot of players from different parts of the world want to come to this league, so that is going to make this league more competitive. And different styles, different players, but in the end, you have to be switched on until the last minute. There's so many goals in the last 5-10 minutes, so that shows that the league is super competitive.
Mel, can I just ask you, we've seen players who've used maybe the cup games, such as Tatiana, scored 3 goals, I think. Yorlin was effective the other night. Vea Sari seems to be doing really well even in the league game. Are the players emerging now, again, who we're going to see more and more of in this sort of second half of the season?
Yeah, to be fair, I think Jorlyn was in a lot of lineups in the first half of season. Tatiana and V in and out of lineups throughout, and both have real class in possession. And it's just about making sure players have confidence, they feel prepared, and that ebbs and flows at time throughout the season or throughout individual players. And it's my job to make sure that they have belief in moving forward and feel the backing from myself and the rest of the staff. And both players, we've got quality and abundance throughout our first handful of players that aren't starting, because we've rotated quite a bit in the beginning of season based off of performances and different players playing well at different moments, and different things that we felt the game called for as well. So the depth in our squad has always been a really critical factor to the success that we've had in games. So that will be certainly something that we rely upon in the second half of the season again.
And this has been a press conference where nobody's mentioned Elizabeth Turland, so allow me to do it. We're talking about players who might come in. Are you concerned, or not concerned, but wonder if she's catching the eye of other clubs? I mean, looking it up, it says she signed for 2 years ago almost. So are you thinking it might be interest in her, or any concerns about her?
I think right now we're focused on making sure that she continues to feel confident and continues to develop. She said herself after the game in the late winner on Sunday how much she's enjoying her football here and enjoying how much she's grown in this second season compared to her first season here. So we obviously love having her as a part of the team and relish supporting her in her development phase, because she is such a young striker still. And that's all we're focused on right now. And I think Terry's incredibly hungry to score her next goal for this club.